The impossible dream. In the cold, vast expanse of space, humanity's hope for faster than light. FTL. Travel seemed to die when Dr. Zorgs, a renowned scientist from the Galactic Confederation, presented his conclusive argument. The laws of the universe, he explained, made it utterly impossible to surpass the speed of light. His explanation left the Alien Council in despair. They shifted focus to more practical projects, like colonizing new worlds and enhancing existing propulsion systems. Yet, unknown to them, a small group of humans refused to accept this limitation. Dr. Ethan Ryder, an eccentric genius with an unyielding belief in the impossible, led this team. Alongside him were Dr. Lena Sato, a brilliant engineer, and Dr. Marcus Thompson, a physicist with a deep understanding of the universe's mysteries. Together, they toiled in secrecy within a hidden lab, funded by a mysterious billionaire who shared their dream. They knew the stakes. If they failed to develop FTL technology, humanity would remain confined to their star system, vulnerable to the whims of more advanced alien civilizations. As they faced these daunting challenges, their resolve grew stronger. They knew the risks were immense. Earth had strictly outlawed unauthorized space research, and the hurdles they faced required them to challenge the very laws of physics. All the brightest minds in the universe had agreed it could not be done. But Ryder and his team were not deterred by such consensus. Dr. Ryder wiped the sweat from his brow as he stepped back from the prototype FTL drive. The sleek, metallic device hummed with energy, its casing vibrating slightly as if alive. Dr. Sato and Dr. Thompson stood nearby, their eyes wide with anticipation. "Is it ready?" Dr. Sato whispered, her voice tinged with both fear and excitement. Dr. Ryder nodded, his hand hovering over the control panel. With a deep breath, he entered the final series of commands. The drive whirred to life, its lights pulsing in a mesmerizing pattern. The numbers on the display climbed steadily, reaching an impossible threshold. "We did it," Dr. Thompson exclaimed, a grin spreading across his face. "We actually did it." Their initial joy was overwhelming, a brief celebration of the impossible. But as the reality of their situation settled in, the mood grew somber. "This is incredible," Dr. Ryder said, his voice filled with awe. "But we need more power to sustain it. We've pushed our current energy sources to their limits." Dr. Sato nodded, her mind already racing with possibilities. "We need something new, something beyond anything we have on Earth." Dr. Ryder began pacing the lab, his thoughts churning. What if we look beyond Earth? What if we find an alien civilization willing to share their technology? Dr. Thompson frowned, shaking his head. "That's a huge risk, Ethan. We have no idea how they'll react to us." "But it's our only chance," Dr. Ryder replied, his conviction unwavering. "We've come too far to turn back now." The team worked tirelessly over the next few weeks, building a small spacecraft equipped with their FTL drive. They named it the Prometheus, a tribute to the legendary Titan who defied the gods for the sake of humanity. As they prepared for launch, Dr. Ryder took a moment to reflect on the magnitude of their mission. They were about to leave everything they knew behind, venturing into the unknown with no guarantee of success. But the promise of FTL travel, of securing humanity's future among the stars, was worth any risk. The Prometheus lifted off from the hidden launch site, its engines roaring as it ascended into the sky. Dr. Ryder, Dr. Sato, and Dr. Thompson sat in the cramped cockpit, their hearts racing as they watched Earth recede behind them. Their journey into the unknown had begun, but they had no idea what awaited them beyond the stars. They were driven by a shared dream, a collective determination to prove the impossible possible. And as they left Earth's atmosphere, they knew there was no turning back, into the unknown. With Earth far behind them, the crew of the Prometheus set their sights on the nearest star system, Zeta Reticuli. It was a binary system known to harbor intelligent life, and the team hoped to make contact with a civilization advanced enough to assist in their quest for more power. The journey was fraught with challenges. The ship's life support system malfunctioned, leaving the crew shivering in the cold darkness of space. Their food supplies dwindled, forcing them to ration every meal. Yet despite the hardships, Dr. Ryder refused to let despair take hold. "We've come too far to give up now," he reminded the team, his voice a steady anchor in the storm of uncertainty. "We'll fix the life support, find a way to replenish our supplies, and keep pushing forward." Dr. Sato worked tirelessly to repair the malfunctioning equipment, her hand steady even as fatigue threatened to overwhelm her. Dr. Thompson, meanwhile, kept a close eye on their energy reserves, knowing that a single miscalculation could spell disaster. As they approached Zeta Reticuli, the ship's sensors detected an unusual energy signature emanating from their FTL drive. Dr. Ryder's heart skipped a beat as he realized what this meant. "We've been detected," he said, his voice grim. On the bridge of a Galactic Confederation scout ship, Captain Zorgan stared at the display in disbelief. The energy readings were unlike anything he had ever seen before, a strange combination of familiar and foreign. "Set a course to intercept that ship," Zorgan ordered his first officer. "We need to find out what they're up to." As the scout ship raced towards the Prometheus, Dr. Ryder and his team braced themselves for the encounter. They had come too far to turn back now, and the fate of humanity rested on their shoulders. The Prometheus shuddered as it dropped out of FTL, the binary stars of Zeta Reticuli burning bright on the view screen. Dr. Ryder gripped the armrests of his chair, his heart pounding. They had made it. The system was known to harbor intelligent life, and as they approached the habitable planet, a sleek alien craft suddenly appeared, blocking their path. "Incoming transmission," Dr. Sato said, her fingers flying over the comms panel. The view screen flickered to life, revealing a stern-faced alien with deep-set eyes and a crown of horns. "This is Commander Zorgan of the Zetan Empire. Your ship is in restricted space. Prepare to be boarded." Dr. Ryder knew the Zetans were technologically advanced, but fiercely isolationist. One wrong move could spell disaster. He stepped forward, putting on his most diplomatic smile. "Commander Zorgan, I am Dr. Ryder of the Earth ship Prometheus. We come in peace, seeking an audience with your leaders." Zorgan's eyes narrowed. "You are in violation of Zetan law. Surrender your ship, or we will take it by force." Dr. Ryder took a deep breath, knowing his next words could change the course of human history. "We have something to offer in exchange for safe passage and an audience with your High Council," he said, his voice calm but firm. "We have discovered the secret of faster-than-light travel and are willing to share it with the Zetan Empire." Zorgan's expression remained unreadable as he considered Ryder's offer. The fate of humanity now hung in the balance. The alliance of necessity. Commander Zorgan studied Dr. Ryder intently, his expression betraying nothing. The tension in the Prometheus cockpit was palpable as Dr. Sato and Dr. Thompson exchanged anxious glances. The seconds felt like hours as they waited for Zorgan's response. Finally, Zorgan's deep voice broke the silence. "Very well, Dr. Ryder. You will be escorted to our capital world. But know this, any attempt to deceive us will result in your immediate destruction." Dr. Ryder nodded, relief washing over him. "We understand, Commander. We appreciate your willingness to listen." With a curt nod, Zorgan cut the transmission, and moments later, the Prometheus was flanked by two Zetan escort ships. The alien craft were sleek and intimidating, their advanced technology evident in every detail. The Prometheus followed them closely as they navigated through the star system, the binary suns casting an ethereal glow over the distant planets. As they neared the Zetan capital world, a massive ring-shaped structure came into view. It orbited the planet like a crown, bristling with weaponry and energy shields. Dr. Ryder marveled at the sheer scale of the station, realizing just how advanced the Zetans truly were. "We're entering their docking bay," Dr. Sato announced, her fingers flying over the controls. The Prometheus was guided into the station's massive hangar, where it settled gently onto the landing platform. The hum of the ship's engines faded, leaving only the ominous silence of the alien station. Dr. Ryder, Dr. Sato, and Dr. Thompson exchanged nervous looks as they prepared to disembark. They were about to step into a world unlike any they had ever known, surrounded by beings whose intentions were still unclear. "Remember," Dr. Ryder said, his voice steady, "we're here to secure humanity's future. Stay calm, be respectful, and let's see where this takes us." The airlock hissed open, and the trio stepped out onto the cold, metallic surface of the hangar. They were immediately met by a squad of Zetan soldiers, their sleek, black armor reflecting the harsh lights of the station. The soldiers' faces were obscured by helmets, adding to the intimidating effect. One of the soldiers stepped forward, a tall figure with an air of authority. "Follow me," he said in a clipped, mechanical tone. Without waiting for a response, he turned and began walking, his footsteps echoing in the cavernous hangar. The humans followed in silence, their hearts pounding as they were led through a series of corridors, each more impressive than the last. The walls were adorned with strange symbols and holographic displays that pulsed with alien energy. It was clear they were deep within the heart of Zetan power. Finally, they arrived at a large chamber, the doors sliding open to reveal a grand council room. At the center of the room stood a raised platform, upon which sat a group of Zetan officials, their eyes fixed on the newcomers. The High Council, Dr. Ryder realized, the rulers of this advanced civilization. Commander Zorgan stood at attention beside the council members, his expression still unreadable. "Dr. Ryder, Dr. Sato, Dr. Thompson," he began, his voice echoing in the chamber. "You stand before the High Council of the Zetan Empire. Speak your proposal." Dr. Ryder took a deep breath, stepping forward with all the confidence he could muster. "Esteemed members of the High Council," he began, his voice firm, "we come to you with a proposition. We have developed a prototype for faster-than-light travel, something that has eluded even the brightest minds in the galaxy. We seek an alliance, one where we share our knowledge in exchange for the resources and technology needed to perfect our FTL drive." The council members exchanged glances, their expressions inscrutable. Finally, the council leader, a Zetan with a regal bearing and a crown of golden horns, leaned forward. "Why should we trust you, humans? Your kind is known for its recklessness, its thirst for conquest." Dr. Ryder remained calm, his voice steady. "We understand your concerns, but our intentions are not of conquest. Humanity's future depends on our ability to spread to the stars, to secure our place among the great civilizations of the galaxy. We seek only to share in the knowledge that will allow us to survive and thrive." The council leader regarded him for a long moment before speaking again. "Your proposal is intriguing, but before we agree to any alliance, you must prove that your technology is as advanced as you claim." Dr. Sato stepped forward, her voice filled with quiet confidence. "We have the data to back up our claims, and we are prepared to demonstrate our FTL drive. But we will need access to your power sources to sustain the energy requirements." The council leader considered this, then nodded slowly. "Very well. You will be granted access to our power facilities. But know this, any attempt to deceive us will be met with swift and deadly consequences." Dr. Ryder nodded, his heart racing. "We understand. Thank you for this opportunity." As the humans were escorted out of the council chamber, they exchanged relieved glances. They had secured the first step toward an alliance, one that could ensure humanity's future among the stars. But they knew the hardest part was yet to come. They would have to prove their technology was real, and that they were worthy of the Zetan's trust. Back on the Prometheus, the team wasted no time in preparing for the demonstration. Dr. Ryder and Dr. Sato worked tirelessly to fine-tune the FTL drive, while Dr. Thompson studied the Zetan power systems, ensuring they could interface with human technology. As they prepared for the test, the enormity of what they were about to do weighed heavily on them. This was more than just a demonstration of technology. It was a test of humanity's place in the galaxy. Success would mean the beginning of a new era, one where humanity could stand shoulder to shoulder with the great civilizations of the universe. Failure would mean not just their own deaths, but possibly the end of humanity's dreams of expansion. With everything in place, the team gathered in the control room, their faces tense but determined. Dr. Ryder stood at the central console, his hand steady as he prepared to initiate the FTL drive. The Zetans had gathered in the observation deck, watching with a mixture of curiosity and skepticism. "Ready?" Dr. Ryder asked, his voice calm despite the tension. "Ready," Dr. Sato and Dr. Thompson replied in unison. Dr. Ryder took a deep breath and pressed the activation button. The FTL drive hummed to life, its lights pulsing with energy as it began to draw power from the Zetan reactors. The entire ship vibrated as the energy levels climbed, pushing the boundaries of what they had previously achieved. The Zetans watched in silence, their eyes fixed on the readouts as the energy levels continued to rise. For a moment, it seemed as though everything was going perfectly. But then, without warning, the lights on the FTL drive began to flicker, and the hum of the engine grew erratic. Dr. Ryder's heart sank as he realized something was wrong. The drive was struggling to maintain the necessary energy levels, and they were losing control. "We're losing power," Dr. Sato shouted, her hands flying over the controls in a desperate attempt to stabilize the system. Dr. Thompson quickly analyzed the data, his mind racing. "The Zetan power grid isn't fully compatible with our technology. The drive is overloading." Dr. Ryder gritted his teeth, knowing they were on the brink of disaster. If they couldn't stabilize the drive, it would not only fail, but could potentially cause a catastrophic explosion. "Shut it down," Dr. Ryder ordered, his voice urgent. "We need to find another way." Dr. Sato's hands moved swiftly over the controls, and with a final flick of a switch, the FTL drive powered down, the lights dimming as the hum faded into silence. The Prometheus was still intact, but the tension in the air was palpable. The Zetans looked at each other, their skepticism returning. The council leader's voice echoed through the chamber, cold and unyielding. "It seems your claims were exaggerated, Dr. Ryder." But before Ryder could respond, Dr. Thompson stepped forward, determination in his eyes. "This isn't a failure. It's a learning opportunity. We've seen what needs to be adjusted, and with your help, we can perfect the drive. Give us another chance, and we'll prove that humanity is worthy of your trust." The council leader studied Dr. Thompson for a long moment before speaking. "You have one more chance, humans. But if you fail again, there will be no second opportunity." As the Zetans departed, Dr. Ryder turned to his team, his expression one of grim determination. "We've got one last shot at this. Let's make it count." They returned to work, their minds focused on solving the issues with the FTL drive. They knew the next test would be their final opportunity to prove themselves, and the future of humanity depended on their success. The turning point. The Prometheus control room buzzed with activity as Dr. Ryder, Dr. Sato, and Dr. Thompson worked tirelessly to perfect the FTL drive. They were racing against time, knowing that failure would not only mean their demise, but also the end of humanity's chance to forge an alliance with the Zetans. Dr. Ryder rubbed his eyes, fatigue gnawing at him. They had been working non-stop since the failed demonstration, analyzing every detail of the drive's performance and the Zetan power grid. They had identified several key incompatibilities, but fixing them required an unprecedented level of ingenuity. "We need to think outside the box," Dr. Ryder muttered, staring at the schematics. "The Zetan power grid operates on a frequency we didn't anticipate. We need to find a way to modulate the FTL drive's input to harmonize with their system." Dr. Sato nodded, her mind racing through possibilities. "What if we create a dynamic frequency modulation system? Something that can adjust in real time to match their power grid's fluctuations." Dr. Thompson looked up from his console, intrigued. That could work, but it would require a complete overhaul of the drive's power management system. We'd need to reroute the energy flow and install adaptive filters to prevent overload. Dr. Ryder's eyes lit up with renewed determination. It's risky, but it's our best shot. Let's get to work. The team dove into the task with renewed vigor, their exhaustion forgotten as they collaborated on the new design. Hours passed as they rewired the FTL drive, programming the adaptive filters and recalibrating the energy flow. It was a delicate process, and any mistake could spell disaster. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, the modifications were complete. The Prometheus control room was filled with a tense silence as the team stood back to admire their work. Dr. Ryder took a deep breath, feeling the weight of the moment. This is it. If this works, we'll have proven that humanity has what it takes to stand alongside the Zetans. If it fails, it won't fail, Dr. Sato said firmly, her eyes blazing with determination. We've come too far to give up now. Dr. Thompson nodded in agreement. We're ready. Let's show them what humanity is capable of. With the FTL drive recalibrated, the team prepared for the final demonstration. The Zetans had gathered once again in the observation deck, their expressions a mixture of skepticism and curiosity. The council leader, his golden horns glinting in the harsh light, watched closely, his gaze unreadable. Dr. Ryder stood at the central console, his hands steady as he prepared to initiate the drive. He took a deep breath, feeling the weight of the moment. This was more than just a test of technology. It was a test of humanity's resilience, ingenuity, and determination. Ready? He asked, his voice calm despite the tension. Ready, Dr. Sato and Dr. Thompson replied in unison, their hands poised over their controls. Dr. Ryder pressed the activation button, and the FTL drive hummed to life once more. This time, the hum was smooth and steady, the lights on the drive pulsing with a synchronized rhythm. The energy levels began to rise, but unlike before, the dynamic frequency modulation system kicked in, adjusting the input to harmonize with the Zetan power grid. The ship vibrated slightly as the energy flow stabilized, the drive drawing power smoothly and efficiently. The team watched the readouts with bated breath, their hearts pounding as the levels continued to climb. In the observation deck, the Zetans exchanged glances, their skepticism beginning to waver. The council leader leaned forward, his eyes narrowing as he watched the display. The FTL drive reached its peak energy levels, the lights glowing with a brilliant intensity. For a moment, everything was perfectly balanced. The power, the modulation, the energy flow. It was working. Then, with a final surge, the FTL drive activated. The Prometheus seemed to shimmer as the fabric of space-time bent around it, the ship's engines propelling it into a new dimension of speed. The stars outside the viewport blurred into streaks of light as the ship broke through the light-speed barrier. Dr. Ryder's heart soared as the realization hit him. They had done it. They had achieved faster than light travel. The Zetans in the observation deck stared in awe, their previous skepticism replaced by genuine astonishment. The council leader stood, his regal bearing now tinged with respect as he watched the humans achieve what had been thought impossible. The FTL drive continued to hum steadily as the Prometheus cruised through hyperspace, the ship's systems handling the immense power with ease. The adaptive filters and dynamic modulation had worked perfectly, proving that humanity's ingenuity could overcome even the most advanced challenges. After what felt like an eternity, Dr. Ryder initiated the shutdown sequence, and the Prometheus gradually slowed to sublight speed. The ship returned to normal space, the stars once again appearing as distant points of light outside the viewport. The control room erupted in cheers as the team celebrated their success. Dr. Ryder, Dr. Sato, and Dr. Thompson exchanged triumphant smiles, the weight of the past days' struggles lifting from their shoulders. In the observation deck, the Zetans remained silent, their expressions a mixture of disbelief and newfound respect. The council leader turned to his fellow members, who nodded in agreement. He then stepped forward, addressing the humans with a voice filled with a newfound respect. Dr. Ryder, Dr. Sato, Dr. Thompson, the council leader began, his tone formal yet respectful, You have proven that humanity possesses a brilliance and tenacity that we had not anticipated. Your success today marks the beginning of a new era, one where your species stands among the great civilizations of the galaxy." Dr. Ryder stepped forward, his voice filled with gratitude. "Thank you, honored council. We are humbled by your words and grateful for the opportunity to prove ourselves. This alliance will benefit both our species as we share knowledge and technology to explore the stars together." The successful demonstration of faster-than-light travel had profound implications for humanity. The possibilities were endless: new worlds to explore, new civilizations to meet, new technologies to develop. The stars were no longer distant points of light. They were destinations reachable within a human lifetime. But with this new power came new challenges. The Zetan Empire, while welcoming, had made it clear that the galaxy was filled with dangers. Other species, some of which might not be as friendly or as open to cooperation. Humanity would need to be cautious to navigate these new relationships with wisdom and foresight. And then there were the ethical questions. The FTL drive was a marvel of engineering, but its potential for misuse was enormous. Dr. Ryder and his team knew that they would need to work with governments and international organizations to ensure that this technology was used responsibly, for the benefit of all. As the press conference continued, Dr. Ryder found himself reflecting on the journey that had brought them here. From the moment they had begun their research in secret, to the harrowing days of testing and failure, to the final triumphant flight. It had been a journey marked by determination, resilience, and a refusal to accept the limits imposed by others. In many ways, their journey mirrored humanity's own. For centuries, humans had looked up at the stars, dreaming of what lay beyond. They had faced countless obstacles: wars, environmental disasters, societal divisions, but they had never given up. They had persevered, driven by an unyielding curiosity and a belief in their own potential. Now they were standing on the cusp of a new era. The stars were no longer out of reach, and the future was full of possibilities. It was a future that would require courage, creativity, and cooperation, qualities that humanity had demonstrated time and again. As the press conference drew to a close, Dr. Ryder took a moment to address the people of Earth directly. "We have achieved something remarkable," he said, his voice steady. "But this is just the beginning. The universe is vast, and there is so much more to discover. We will face challenges, yes, but we will also have opportunities to grow, to learn, and to become something greater than we are today. The stars are now within our grasp. Let's reach for them, together." The crowd erupted in applause, and Dr. Ryder felt a deep sense of satisfaction. They had done what many thought was impossible, and in doing so, they had opened the door to a future filled with hope and wonder. As he looked out at the cheering faces, he knew that the journey ahead would be difficult, but it would also be full of incredible possibilities. And with humanity's newfound allies, there was no limit to what they could achieve. The stars awaited them, and they were ready. The Galactic Coalition. In the months following the Prometheus' return, humanity entered a period of rapid transformation. The successful development of faster-than-light travel had not only revolutionized space exploration, but had also triggered a wave of technological advancements across various fields. From energy production to medicine, the ripple effects of Dr. Ryder's team's breakthrough were felt around the globe. However, as humanity reached for the stars, it became clear that they would not be venturing into the cosmos alone. The alliance with the Zetan Empire was the first of many, as word of Earth's achievements spread throughout the galaxy. Other advanced civilizations, some more powerful and mysterious than the Zetans, began to take notice of the small, determined species from the blue planet. The Galactic Coalition, a loose federation of spacefaring civilizations, had long been the dominant political force in the galaxy. The coalition was a complex organization, balancing the interests of its member species, each with its own unique culture, technology, and goals. While the coalition had maintained a relative peace for centuries, it was far from a perfect union. Internal rivalries, economic disputes, and territorial ambitions often simmered beneath the surface, threatening to disrupt the fragile stability. Humanity's sudden emergence as a spacefaring power was met with a mixture of curiosity, skepticism, and in some quarters, outright hostility. The Coalition's leaders, an assembly of the most influential species in the galaxy, convened an emergency summit to discuss the implications of Earth's newfound capabilities. Dr. Ryder, along with representatives from the World Confederation, was invited to attend the summit, held on the ancient space station of Arcturus Prime. The station, a massive structure orbiting a distant star, was a neutral ground where the Coalition's most delicate negotiations took place. It was a place steeped in history, where treaties had been signed, wars averted, and alliances forged. As the Prometheus docked at Arcturus Prime, Dr. Ryder couldn't help but feel a sense of awe. The station was a marvel of engineering, a testament to the ingenuity of the species that had constructed it eons ago. Its vast corridors were lined with intricate carvings and holographic displays, telling the stories of countless civilizations that had come before. Dr. Sato walked beside him, her eyes scanning their surroundings with a mixture of curiosity and caution. "This place is incredible," she said softly. "It's like a museum and a fortress all in one." Dr. Thompson, who had been unusually quiet since their arrival, nodded in agreement. "We're walking among giants here. We need to be careful." Dr. Ryder agreed. The summit would be their first formal introduction to the Galactic Coalition, and the stakes could not be higher. Humanity's future as a spacefaring civilization would be determined by the outcome of these discussions. The Earth delegation was led to the Grand Council chamber, a vast circular room with a domed ceiling that projected a holographic representation of the galaxy. Representatives from dozens of species filled the chamber, their appearances as diverse as the stars themselves. Some were humanoid, like the Zetans, while others were far more alien, beings of light, gaseous entities, and massive creatures whose forms defied description. At the center of the chamber stood the High Chancellor of the Coalition, an imposing figure with a commanding presence. The Chancellor species, the Erythrans, were among the oldest in the galaxy, known for their wisdom and neutrality. The Chancellor raised a hand, and the murmurs in the chamber ceased. "Esteemed members of the Coalition, we gather here today to discuss a matter of great importance," the Chancellor began, their voice resonating through the chamber. "The species known as humanity has achieved faster-than-light travel, a feat that many believed impossible. Their actions have drawn the attention of the galaxy, and it is our duty to determine how we will respond." The Chancellor turned to Dr. Ryder and the Earth delegation. "Representatives of Earth, you stand before the Coalition not only as emissaries of your world, but as pioneers of a new era. We invite you to share your intentions and to explain what role you wish to play in the greater galactic community." Dr. Ryder stepped forward, feeling the weight of countless eyes upon him. He took a deep breath and began to speak. "Honorable Chancellor, esteemed members of the Coalition, I stand before you as a representative of humanity, a species that has long looked to the stars with wonder and curiosity. Our journey to achieve faster-than-light travel was born out of a desire to explore, to learn, and to secure a future for our people. We come in peace, seeking to join the galactic community as partners and allies, not as conquerors or adversaries." He paused, allowing his words to sink in. "We understand that our actions have caused concern, and we are prepared to address those concerns openly and honestly. Our goal is to contribute to the shared knowledge and prosperity of the galaxy, to learn from those who have come before us, and to forge bonds of cooperation and mutual respect." The chamber was silent as the Coalition members considered his words. Finally, the Chancellor spoke again. "Your intentions are noble, Dr. Ryder. However, the road ahead will not be easy. The galaxy is vast, and not all species share your ideals. There are those who may see your rapid advancement as a threat, and others who may seek to exploit your technology for their own gain." The Chancellor gestured to one of the Coalition members, a tall reptilian being with golden scales. Commander Carrick of the Draconid Dominion, you have the floor. Commander Carrick stood, his eyes narrowing as he regarded the Earth delegation. Your achievements are impressive, humans, but they are also dangerous. The Dominion has long guarded its borders against external threats, and we will not tolerate any incursion into our territory. Your FTL technology could upset the balance of power in the galaxy. How can we trust that you will not use it to expand your influence at the expense of others? Dr. Ryder met Carrick's gaze, choosing his words carefully. Commander Carrick, I understand your concerns. Humanity has no desire to infringe upon the sovereignty of other species or to engage in conflicts that could destabilize the galaxy. We seek only to explore and to contribute to the collective knowledge of the Coalition. We are willing to share our technology under strict agreements that ensure it is used responsibly and for the benefit of all. Another voice spoke up, this one from a being composed of swirling energy, its form shifting constantly. And what of the dangers that FTL travel itself presents? The Elteri Collective has observed the consequences of reckless use of such technology. Entire star systems destabilized, wormholes opened where none should exist. How do you plan to prevent such catastrophes? Dr. Seto stepped forward, her voice calm and measured. The risks associated with FTL travel are real, and we have taken every precaution to mitigate them. Our drive systems are equipped with fail-safes and monitoring systems that prevent destabilization. Furthermore, we are committed to working with the Coalition to establish guidelines and protocols for the safe use of this technology. The chamber buzzed with conversation as the Coalition members debated the Earth delegation's proposals. After what seemed like an eternity, the Chancellor raised a hand, calling for silence. We have heard your arguments and your assurances, the Chancellor said. The Coalition recognizes the potential of your species and the significance of your achievements. However, trust is not easily earned, and your place in the galaxy is not yet secure. We will permit you to join the Coalition as an associate member, with limited access to our resources and territories. This status will be reviewed in time, based on your actions and your adherence to our principles. The Chancellor's gaze softened slightly. Know that you have allies here, and that your journey is far from over. The galaxy holds many challenges, but also many opportunities. How you navigate them will determine your future among the stars. Dr. Ryder bowed his head in gratitude. Thank you, Chancellor. We will do everything in our power to prove ourselves worthy of this trust. As the summit concluded, the Earth delegation returned to the Prometheus with a mixture of relief and determination. They had taken the first step towards securing humanity's place in the galaxy, but there was still much work to be done. As they prepared for the journey back to Earth, Dr. Ryder reflected on the road ahead. The challenges they faced were daunting, but he knew that humanity had the strength and the resolve to overcome them. They had already achieved the impossible once. There was no reason they couldn't do it again. And as the Prometheus left Arcturus Prime behind, the stars beckoned once more, filled with infinite possibilities. Humanity's place among the stars. The Prometheus's return journey to Earth was filled with reflection and anticipation. The events at Arcturus Prime had solidified humanity's first steps into the broader galactic community, but the challenges they faced were far from over. The team aboard the ship knew that their actions in the coming months and years would determine the future of their species among the stars. As the Prometheus entered Earth's orbit, Dr. Ryder stood on the observation deck, gazing out at the blue planet below. The weight of their recent experiences pressed heavily on his shoulders, but it was tempered by a sense of accomplishment. They had achieved what many thought was impossible, faster than light travel, and had navigated the complexities of galactic diplomacy. But the journey was only beginning. The Prometheus touched down at the newly constructed interstellar spaceport, a massive facility that had been rapidly built to accommodate the growing need for off-world travel and exploration. As the crew disembarked, they were met with cheers and applause from the gathered crowd, a testament to the global unity that had been fostered by their achievements. Dr. Sato, ever the pragmatist, was already thinking about the next steps. We've secured our position within the Galactic Coalition, but now we need to solidify our advancements. The technology we've developed needs to be refined and expanded. We'll also need to start training the next generation of explorers, scientists, and diplomats. Dr. Thompson nodded in agreement. And we'll need to be vigilant. The galaxy is a dangerous place, and we can't afford to be complacent. We have allies, but also potential enemies. Our FTL technology gives us an advantage, but it also makes us a target. Dr. Ryder turned to his colleagues, his expression resolute. We knew this wouldn't be easy, but we've already proven that we can overcome any challenge. We'll continue to push forward, to explore, and to build relationships with other civilizations. Humanity's place among the stars is no longer a dream, it's a reality. And it's up to us to ensure that reality is one of peace, cooperation, and progress. Over the next several months, Earth entered a new era of interstellar exploration and diplomacy. The World Confederation established the United Stellar Command, a joint initiative to oversee humanity's ventures into space. The command was tasked with not only furthering exploration, but also maintaining the delicate balance of power within the Galactic Coalition. Dr. Ryder and his team were at the forefront of these efforts. They continued to refine the FTL drive, making it more efficient and safer for use on a wider scale. New ships were constructed, each equipped with the advanced technology that had made the Prometheus's journey possible. These ships were not only designed for exploration, but also for defense, should the need arise. Humanity's interactions with other species in the Coalition were cautious but fruitful. Diplomatic missions were sent to the homeworlds of various member species, establishing embassies and forging alliances. Trade agreements were signed, bringing new resources and technologies to Earth, while also sharing humanity's own innovations. The Zetans, true to their word, remained close allies. They provided invaluable guidance on navigating the complexities of coalition politics and helped broker deals that would have been impossible otherwise. Their partnership with humanity grew stronger, and together, they began joint scientific ventures, exploring the mysteries of the galaxy that had yet to be uncovered. But not all interactions were as positive. The Draconid Dominion remained wary of humanity, closely monitoring their activities. Skirmishes between Dominion patrols and human exploration vessels occurred in the contested border regions, a reminder that not all species were eager to see humanity rise. The Elteri Collective, too, watched with a cautious eye, concerned about the potential dangers of FTL technology. Despite these challenges, humanity continued to thrive. The knowledge gained from the Galactic Coalition propelled Earth into a new golden age of science and culture. Medical advancements from other species led to the eradication of diseases that had plagued humanity for centuries. Energy sources, previously thought to be beyond reach, were harnessed, providing clean and limitless power to all corners of the globe. The cultural exchange with other species also had a profound impact. Earth became a melting pot of ideas, art, and philosophy from across the galaxy. New schools of thought emerged, blending human creativity with the wisdom of ancient civilizations. Music, literature, and visual arts flourished, creating a vibrant tapestry that reflected humanity's place in the cosmos. As the years passed, Earth transformed into a hub of interstellar activity. The interstellar spaceport expanded, accommodating ships from all corners of the galaxy. The United Stellar Command established bases on distant worlds, from which they launched missions of exploration and peacekeeping. Humanity had become a respected, if still cautious, member of the Galactic Coalition. Dr. Ryder, now an elder statesman in the field of space exploration, watched with pride as the fruits of their labor continued to grow. He had dedicated his life to unlocking the secrets of the universe, and now those secrets were being revealed to the world. But he knew that the journey was far from over. There were still mysteries to uncover, challenges to face, and new frontiers to explore. One evening, as he stood on the observation deck of the United Stellar Command's flagship, the Horizon, Dr. Ryder gazed out at the stars. The vastness of space stretched out before him, filled with infinite possibilities. He thought back to the early days of their journey, to the doubts and fears that had plagued them. But those doubts had been replaced with hope, and those fears with determination. Humanity had proven that it could rise to any challenge, that it could achieve the impossible. And as he stood there, surrounded by the wonders of the galaxy, Dr. Ryder knew that humanity's place among the stars was secure. They had earned their place through ingenuity, resilience, and determination. The future was bright, and the possibilities were endless. As the Horizon prepared to set out on its next mission, Dr. Ryder took one last look at the Earth, now just a small blue dot in the vast expanse of space. He smiled, knowing that humanity was ready for whatever lay ahead. For they had become more than just inhabitants of a single world. They had become explorers, pioneers, and citizens of the galaxy.